Hi everyone, and welcome to the HP High Flyers portal and video blog. This is the first one in our series over the next coming weeks of helping you go to the next level in your sales behavior with a whole lot of different resources. Now, before we get into that, firstly, I hope you've all recovered from the 4 days we had together. Apparently some idiot turned the temperature down so cold that everyone was freezing, and I've got the Codral cold and flu tablets to back it up, and I've spoken to a couple of different people who said that they were in bed for about 3 days afterwards. So I hope you're feeling better. We had a great week, we had a great time, great learning, and I know that many people who came up to me during the week said that it was a sensational way of learning and becoming more proficient at their professional lives. So getting back to the portal and what we're going to be doing, as you'll see on this site, apart from these video blogs, there's going to be Q&A sessions available where you'll be able to ask me questions. HP will have some material on there around all of their equipment and all of their presentations from the 4 days. So all the HP presentations are available for you to look at. We're going to have some guest speakers on our video blogs over the coming weeks, and there'll be also in coming events, have a look at that on this very site, a chance for you to book in slots with me to have one-on-one coaching over the next 10 to 12 weeks or so. So each of these videos will have its own theme, and then there'll be additional content provided where you come back to this portal and seek the information you need to help sell MPS out there. So let's look at the first theme that I wanted to discuss with you, because everyone left pretty pumped at the end of that week, pumped and tired. But one of the things that tends to happen are these things called selling blocks. Now, on the day last time, we spoke about buying blocks where some people will pay $35 for a shirt, some people would spend $300 perhaps on a shirt. And that's on the buyer's side. But on the seller's side, we have our own aversions to certain behavior that sometimes are entrenched, and we need to overcome them in order to be successful. So let me tell you a quick story about this. Many years ago when I was an IT sales director, we won the ATO account, which was magnificent. Thousands and thousands of units, big contract, multi-million-dollar scenario, and everyone's pretty happy. But all of a sudden, when looking at the forecast and the pipeline, for some reason, the sales guys decided that they would drop off their activity. And when we discussed this, I said, what's going on? Why has the activity suddenly dried up? Why has the pipeline suddenly dried up? And to a person, they all said, well, we won ATO. And I said, so what? And they said, well, if we're going to produce that many machines, you're not going to be able to produce my client's stuff in a timely fashion and provide that availability. So I'm holding back on having some of these conversations with my clients, because what happens if they ask for something and we can't provide it? Well, I said, did you know that we could put on double shifts? Did you know that there are outsourced ways of increasing production? And they said, no, I didn't know that. No one told us. And I said, yeah, well, let us worry about how we deliver stuff to you, and you worry about having these business conversations with clients. It's just a classic idea, a classic example of a selling block where something comes into your mind which may or may not be real, that blocks us from having those deeper driver conversations with clients. So before I get into a few and share them with you, I want you to take a minute now, just write down what you think might block you from having one of these deeper conversations with a CFO or a CIO. What would be a selling block for you that where you think, no, I'm not ready to go there yet. I don't think I can promote MPS yet at this particular time. Just write it down and we'll be back in just a second. So I'm sure you've written down something that's most close to your heart, because people tend to write down the thing that is most pressing on their minds. I just want to share a few selling blocks and perhaps some ways of thinking about it differently. So one of the ones that comes up is, well, all the stuff we did in the HP High Flyers program was great, but I've never had a meeting with a CFO before. I've never had a meeting with an MD or a CEO before. How do I actually do it? Well, they're just people like everybody else. And unless we try it, unless we ask for it, or unless you go out with someone else on the first call and give it a bash, it'll never happen. I'm sure you've all got the skills and the tools now to be able to have this conversation, to drill down, to uncover their deeper drivers and their needs. All you've got to do is try it. And we're not talking about having meetings with CEO of Commonwealth Bank. We're talking about people in the mid-tier market that are more than receptive to these sorts of discussions, provided we hang back on the selling and we promote that conversational behaviour of uncovering their needs and their drivers. One of the other ones that tends to come up is, well, I'm not technically proficient yet. We don't have a pre-sales resource yet. I'll wait till the company gets someone who's got 6 months of expertise before I can have this conversation. You can do that if you wish, or you can find that pre-sales resource through your relationships with HP, or you can talk to your manager about how you're going to fill that void, because if you don't do it, someone else, sure as eggs, is going to come on board and start to have those pre-sales discussions with clients and find the NPS opportunities. Another one that tends to come up in regards to selling blocks is the whole concept of having a business conversation and holding back on some of those old style sales behaviours. So wouldn't you agree, Mr. Customer, that we should do this, and trying to push a sale and trying to close a sale too early, which we know is not necessarily the right way to consult in these deals. All I can tell you, as we said in the program, is to clear your mind of any of these habits that you think are going to hold you back, are going to hold you back. Clear your mind of them and say, look, yes, that's what I used to do. That's what I have done. I haven't met the CFO. We may not have the perfect pre-sales resource, and I've never done this before in this way without trying to close in the first 2 meetings, because that's what I was taught. Just recognize it for what it is and move on. You've got a simple choice here. We can either move on and overcome these blocks, or find a way around them with your team or with HP, or we don't. And then some of those behaviours will default back. If I look at the successful people and these sorts of behaviours over time, the ones who have said, yeah, I know I've got a few blocks, I know it's not perfect, I'm going to try it anyway, they're the ones that are successful. And the ones that come up with 5 reasons why it's not perfect yet, don't know enough about the product, etc., they're the ones that tend to struggle, and I hope that you're not in that category. So, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our first in a series of video blogs. There's more to come, as I said, more guest speakers, more opportunities for Q&A, for coaching, HP presentations and other content around this portal, and we'll see you next time. Bye.